What are we being patient on? Look at that.
So like I read that wrong.
What the fuck?
Oh shit. That's a fucking jet, bro.
Man, that's a jet for real.
That shit was low, bro.
Because that was a war jet.
That was, bro, that motherfucker was flying low.
That shit was flying low,
Bro,
bro.
what's over here, bro?
Nothing. Nothing, bro.
See,
Nothing.
the Navy base ain't that close.
Navy base is this way, bro.
Yeah, that way.
Miramar is that way, but that's...
Nah, but Miramar is far, bro.
That way.
Bro, that was crazy, bro.
Yeah, we know Esau's getting down real. He's going to stay
That
in a
shit
lot
was
of
skinny,
shit
bro,
right
like a
So
drone.
you did in my
It
city,
looked
right?
like it.
Huh?
Yeah, your
So
city
you did in
got
my
hit.
city,
Yeah,
check it
your
out.
city got hit.
The original description was 4 white males, bro. All of a sudden they're Arabs now. The Ishmaelites now, but they were 4 white males in these first
First game was
Oh, the
first
San
game.
Bernardino.
And you know what? That story
I did
keeps
like 2 weeks
switching, man.
ago,
You gotta
bro.
wait.
Nah, yeah, he said he was watching the news live. That's the afterburn.
Where did it go, bro?
Are you sure that's the afterburner?
Yeah, it might not be.
Cloud.
Nah, it would have been louder than that if it hit something. But
That was loud right there, King.
Yeah, nah. If it hit something, we would know. We would know.
That was loud right there, King.
I saw that shit coming straight because it was low, bro. So I didn't even see it in the air coming down here, bro. It was below this Starbucks thing, bro. Yeah. It was gray. Great anthracite. Okay?
I was like,
That was gunpowder gray.
Russian military aircraft, at least it's listed as Russian Air Force, and it may be a part of their space program, but regardless, it's listed as the Russian Air Force, and it, as you can see here, took off or came into the frame somewhere down in this area, did a flight around San Diego. As you can see the path here, it went right up, right through Las Vegas, and right over Nellis Air Force Base. Literally went straight over the city, right over Nellis Air Force Base, and then back out and around. It has no call sign, and it caught the eye of a few people like, what is Russian military aircraft doing in our airspace? Now, all the time when they get caught, they try to turn around and say it's a part of this or it's a part of that. But with everything going on in this country at this moment, to see Russian military aircraft in our skies is something to pay attention to, because this isn't part of the Friendly Skies Treaty where they allow Russian aircraft to go all the way across the United States one time to be able to observe things. This is not that. You can see the information they have listed on this, the registration, and we will go ahead and we will look in here and we will see that almost all of the status that has been listed on this has been unknown. And you can see that it departed from Moscow to, it's all unknown. As of today, 12/4, from, it's not listed. Unknown is the status. And with it leaving Moscow, you can clearly see that this is Russian military in our skies right now with no call sign. Just did a swoop right over San Diego and over Las Vegas, as well as Los Angeles, Long Beach. So 3 major U.S. cities, Russian military just flew over, and you're seeing it right here. This is something to pay attention to. Most people would think right now, with all the tension between the United States and Russia, there's no way you're going to see Russian military aircraft inside of our country, in our skies. You are looking at just that right now.
First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto the Most High God, Yahweh, and I'd like to do so in the name of His only begotten Son, Yahweh Shai. All right, it's Brother Alazabaloy, aka the Gorilla Hebrew. So as y'all seen in the footage, yesterday when we were at camp, just yesterday, today is December the 6th, we were at camp yesterday, December the 5th. You know, we got startled by a very low flying jet. that there was really no explanation for. We're here in San Diego, California. There are several military bases in the area. You have 32nd Street, we have Miramar, we have Camp Pendleton. But where we do camp at is in the middle of the city, a neighborhood called City Heights. Nowhere near any of those. So a jet flying that low is very abnormal for that part of town. So we saw it. It startled all of us. And if you know, you pay attention when you go back and watch the video of how startled we were, and apologies for the language, it was just very shocking. But when you notice the brother on the end, on the far right, a brother in the green garment, a brother Atazaban, soldier Atazaban, he was in the service. So he was a little more shocked than everybody else because he kind of understood the implications a little more of a jet flying that low, being that, you know, he comes from the military background. You know, the brother Chazama, who was actually teaching at the time. You don't see me on camera. I'm working the camera so you can hear my voice. But the brother Chazama was speaking at the time. You know, he had on the blue. You know, he actually was playing basketball earlier today. And you know, a couple of guys that he knows that he plays basketball with that are in the service and know people in the service. I mean, people are freaking out about this whole situation, right? So anyway, I was startled, and then I'm going through. I had kind of forgot about it. So I get home after camp, and I'm going through my subscriptions on YouTube, and I see the video that I had kind of put a few clips of after our video, which is by a guy by the name of Dabu7. I suggest everybody subscribe to the channel. He reports about a lot of stuff. So this guy Dabu7, it said Russian Air Force jet flies over Las Vegas, San Diego, and LA. I was like, what? So that's what we saw. So apparently it's been active a couple times throughout this week. As we see, there is a few articles about it. Unmarked Russian Air Force jet makes erratic passes over California, disappears over Sacramento, breaking unidentified Russian Air Force jet over California, then disappears from radar. So it's a few reports on this online, and of course we saw this with our own two eyes. You know, if you notice, the brother Tazama says it was gunpowder gray. And then I looked up the Russian Air Force jets, and it looked what we saw. And I wish we could have caught it on camera, but you know, it just kind of passed by, you know, flying, and then it kind of disappeared behind the apartment building that's across the street from our campsite. But you can hear it, you know, you could hear it. And I said that might have been the afterburners. I could have been wrong. I don't know what it was, but you can clearly know that sound was emanating from that jet. But it looked very similar to this or this, you know what I'm saying? A dark gray, very dark gray, like more like this gray, and sizable and flying very low, you know what I'm saying? So so a lot of people believe this is just like an example of Russia, of the Russians basically flexing their muscle on America. As we know, and as if you pay attention to geopolitics, you can tell, but more importantly, according to biblical prophecy, Russia and America, or Russia and their allies versus America and their allies, the Western powers, the EU and NATO, are coming to a head. This is a conflict that will reach a head at some point, you know, whether it be very soon or in the near future. This is going to happen. It's inevitable, right? Any person who's an expert in geopolitics or biblical prophecy can tell you this. This is going to happen. You know, Gog and Magog are going to come against Babylon. Babylon being America. All right. So this is kind of all like in accordance with that prophecy, and it was just kind of crazy. Like, we're seeing these prophecies inch closer and closer to come into fruition. Just like we can see all the prophecies of the past that the Most High God, through His Spirit, gave to His prophets, have came to pass. So it's just a real wake-up call to the signs of the times that we're in, you know, indefinitely. So, you know, with that being said, I just want to read this scripture here in Ezekiel 38:7, which is the scripture that speaks about Gog and Magog. Which is the land of Russia now today. It speaks about Meshach. Anybody knows Meshach? Meshach is the ancient word for Moscow. All right. So when you hear in the Bible when it speaks about the chief prince of Meshach, the chief prince of Meshach at this present moment will be Vladimir Putin. Does that mean necessarily that when the biblical prophecy is said to come to pass, Vladimir Putin will be the chief priest of Meshach? We can't say that definitively because we don't know the exact date and time that the prophecies will come to pass. But what we can see is the prophecies heading in the direction of coming to pass through the Spirit. All right. So this is Ezekiel 38:7. Be thou prepared and prepare thyself, thou and all thy company that are assembled unto thee, and be thou a guard unto them. So it says, be thou prepared and prepare thyself. We see in the New Living Translation it says, get ready, be prepared, keep all the armies around you mobilized. So these Russian armies are prepared, all right, as the biblical prophecy says they will be. They are prepared and they're ready for an attack, and now it seems as if they're just toying with the United States government at this point. You see what I'm saying? It seems like they're really just toying and playing a game with them. So, you know, it'll be very interesting to see the further developments in this story. But you know, it was quite a sight to see, and it was startling to see that jet flying over, even prior to having the knowledge that it was a Russian Air Force jet. And now that we have received the confirmation that it was in fact a Russian Air Force jet, it's even much more startling. You know, and it brings that much more validity on top of all the other fulfilled prophecies that are in the scriptures that bring validity, i.e. Deuteronomy 28:68 about the so-called African Americans coming to America on slave ships and being the Israelites of the Bible. Like, you know, all these prophecies that have came to fruition, they are evidence, you know, overwhelming evidence that the Bible is real, and, you know, the God of the Bible is real, and we, the Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian, are his chosen people, the Israelites. But with that being said, I just wanted to give that update to the people through the Spirit and power of Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai. And with that, again, call Halal, Wahadar, Yahweh B'Shem Mashiach Yahweh Shai, Wa Shalom.